well, it's 1 in the morning and I just moved my van into shelter. Ooh, you hear that thunder? I actually pulled over at a truck stop to sleep tonight. I didn't get as far as I wanted to, lightning, as I wanted to tonight. I was just too tired, so I pulled over to sleep at a truck stop, and I wasn't quite asleep yet, and all of a sudden the wind started gusting, and then just a downpour of rain, thunder and lightning going on. And these are kind of perfect conditions for hail, which I want to avoid on my van. I've always wondered what would happen if I was faced with hail. I wouldn't want to get a smashed windshield or, wreck my roof or any part of my vehicle. So since I was at a truck stop, there's a gas station here that has those overhead, coverage at the pumps. And so I just pulled maybe not even 100 meters ahead, and now I'm sheltered. But it was so loud, just the rain was just pouring down. It was still coming down. I'm watching it right now. It's not turning to hail yet, but I thought, just since I'm still awake and probably not going to be getting this sleep with all the thunder and lightning, might as well just be safe and park my vehicle under some shelter in case there is hail. But it's super quiet here now, but as soon as I pull out, yeah, the rain is just coming down really hard. This is kind of typical prairie summer storm, and we've had a lot of them this last week or two. It's hard to see, but the rain is definitely coming down out there. But I'm nice and sheltered, thankfully. Doesn't look like it's hail. It actually looks like it's letting up a little bit, so I think maybe I'm good and I can go back to my spot. But oops, we got some lightning and some thunder coming. Ooh, that's deep. Yeah, the rain has really backed off from where it was, thankfully. So there's my truck, so I was just able to drive under there and get some safety and shelter just in case. So the very first year that I had my camper van, I had taken it to the shop. I don't remember why, but it was in the shop overnight. And I had, and then that night we got golf ball sized hail, and some neighbors and stuff had their cars pretty much totaled off. So I was very grateful to have my van in the shop and not where I was. So ever since then, I've kind of been cautious when it comes to potential of hail. And tonight felt like it could have been one of those nights. Now I just want to go crawl back up from my bed and get some sleep. Oh, big lightning. Waiting for the thunder. There it is. But yeah, it looks like the rain is backed off, so I think I'm safe to go to sleep and not worry about hail tonight. Well, I got to sleep no problem, and then I slept in way later than I had intended to. It's already getting hot in here, and it's like the storm never happened last night. Like the pavement, everything is dry already because the sun has been out since, I don't know, 5:30 in the morning or something like that. So I'm gonna just hop in the driver's seat and get out of here, get on the road.
Every sunrise feels like gold. Another story to be told. These are the days we'll remember, the moments we'll treasure. Oh, could this get any better?
Today I am off to a place where I spent a lot of time when I was growing up. It actually used to be the ski hill where I learned how to ski, and it's no longer a ski hill, but it has been developed into actually mountain bike and hiking trails. And yeah, I go there maybe once or twice a summer. and they just recently built a few brand new trails, and they're all good for my adaptive mountain bike. A lot of the trails that are originally there are really narrow, so I can only ride a few kilometers of trails there. The original trails are like just off game trails or deer trails that have been widened a little bit for mountain biking. But these new trails are all machine cut and wide and super fun for my bike. So they're doing the grand opening of the trails. They're gonna have a big ceremony tomorrow, so I've been invited to attend that. Yeah, so that is where I am headed. Probably gonna spend, you know, at least a few days down there riding the trails and yeah, just reminiscing about growing up there and having a good time.
Open skies, open roads, every mile a new unknown. Tell me, could this get any better? This beautiful life. What a beautiful life.
So the nice thing about these trails is you can actually camp right at the trailhead. So it's, yeah, nice to just be able to wake up and do some biking right from where you're spending the night. And so I'm probably gonna spend maybe a week here, I think. We'll see what the weather brings and yeah, how long I can last without driving my vehicle to recharge my batteries. Especially if I'm running air conditioning. Because it's gonna be really hot this week. On the right is the old bunny hill that we used to learn to ski on. And yeah, they had a tow rope here, which was super dangerous. Felt like everyone was always falling on that thing. But they've turned it into a nice little campsite. No hookups or anything, but it's nice and quiet. And you can camp right among the trails. So I'll just be able to leave right from my campsite on my bike and explore all around. Alright, I'm gonna have to get somebody to move that picnic table, I think, so I have more room in my site to get my bike out, but yeah, this will do for now. So the plan for the rest of the day is just to settle in. I think I'm gonna unload my bike tonight because I can bike right from the trailhead and it'll save me some time tomorrow. And then I'm just gonna make some turkey burgers and sweet potato fries, I think, and call it a chill night. And then tomorrow afternoon is like the big official grand opening of the trails. Politicians and everything are gonna be there. But I'm gonna try and get some laps in earlier in the morning. I have ridden here. I actually rode here about 10 days ago, right when the trails were first like finished. They weren't like officially opened with all the government stuff. So I have ridden these trails before, and I'll give you a little tour of the place where I spent a lot of time growing up.
Take your time, don't wish it away. Don't you know we're living in the good old days? Hold on tight, say what you need to say. Don't you know we're living in the good old days? Don't you know we're living in the good old days?
Okay, so here we are at Buffalo Pound, and I'm kind of at the bottom of the hill. It's bringing back so much nostalgia. So there is a lake over there, but we never really spent much time there in the summer. We'd go further north to a colder lake. And then over here is what used to be the ski chalet. So in the bottom part, there was like, that's where you'd come in, you get your tickets. I think you could get rentals, ski rentals there. And then on the second floor, there, you know, was like a concession, seating, fireplace, and everything like that. So you could watch people ski. And then over here was the ski mountain, aka a river valley with, I think it's even a man-made hill up here. But where those power lines are on the right there, that's where the T-bar went up. And then kind of where that depression is in the middle, that used to be called like the bowl, and that was so tricky. So I started skiing here at about 2 or 3 years old. And since my brothers were much older, like the oldest was 10 years older than me, they were already really good skiers. And every school break, our family would drive to the mountains and go on a ski trip. But because I was so young, I was always left behind. I'd stay with my aunt and uncle and cousins. And so the deal was, if I could ski from the top of the ski hill all the way down to the bottom without falling, I could join the family on the ski trips. And so, I don't know, I must have been 4 or 5, probably 4, I think, when I could finally do that. And then I got to go to the mountains, and I remember like the powder would be up to my neck almost. One time I came around a corner and I just came to a stop because the powder was so high, it just filled me right up, and my dad had to pick me up kind of by the back of the neck and shake me off and put me down on the groomed spot. But yeah, so many memories here. There's a new feature where this tunnel went in and you could ski through this tunnel, and it was so fun and unique for this little prairie ski hill. But you can see now at the bottom there's a trail that kind of wraps around the other side of the ski hill, and this no longer is a ski hill, and it's turned into a little bit of a mountain biking mecca here in Saskatchewan. I even remember the chalet here, and those stairs would be so icy and slippery, and like back in the 80s and 90s we had these big plastic ski boots that were so slippery and hard to walk in. And as a kid, I can just remember like trying not to fall on my face going up those stairs. They've since built a ramp. I think maybe 3 or 4 years ago they built a ramp. This chalet was closed off for like, I want to say a decade or two. And then they reopened it, and now it's got a sweet cafe. The owners are really awesome, and yeah, people come and enjoy a beverage out on that deck and watch people mountain bike. So many winter weekends and nights spent here. Actually on, I think it was Friday night, the ski patrols would close down the hill when everything was done, and they'd shut off all the lights, and then they would all light up these flame torches, and they'd be holding these torches, and they'd come zigzagging down the hill and make like little, patterns, like crisscrosses or circles and stuff like that. And so everyone would be over in that chalet, the lights would be off, and we'd be just watching that all happen. But those were core memories for sure. And now I get to come down here a couple times a summer and bike, and there's only been about 3 or 4 trails that are like good for my bike, that are wide enough that I feel safe enough to ride independently. A lot of the trails are deer trails, so they're really, really narrow, have like a steep drop on the side, and so my bike doesn't really fit down them. But now that we've got these 3 new trails, like I've doubled the amount of kilometers I can do out here, and they're fun trails. Like I can actually just feel like I can let go and like ride, and I'm actually gonna progress my skills. This blue downhill trail has got some jumps, got some berms, tabletops, and so yeah, I can actually like just let go and ride, and I'm not fearful of what's coming around the next corner, or just like, you know, only have an inch or 2 on each side of my wheel on the trail. So yeah, so stoked this is happening. All right, so we are heading onto the new climb trail. And yeah, the trail's pretty good. Oops. There's a couple spots where I have to do a 3-point turn, but I can still do it independently and feel pretty good out here on my own. Okay, so the first time I did this corner, I didn't make it because I didn't take a wide enough line, but now I know. Whew, I just squeezed by there. And this one, I have to turn my hand so the crank doesn't hit the wheel. So yeah, all these little things you learn when you ride a trail over and over again. About a third of the way up now. Just cruising along, taking my time, conserving some energy. Oh, finally we get some tree coverage. Okay, here we go. So this is the first one where I have to actually go and I have to do a I can't make the corner, so I gotta go to where I can and then I have to back up, reposition myself, and then go again at the corner. So
Current mode.
I can still do it.
Cycling mode.
But it's kind of the first little thing I've run into.
Cycling mode.
All right. Okay, so here we go. And yeah, there's just a root system right there. So that's why they didn't carve it out more. Now I gotta back up and get going. Now, this one isn't terrible because behind me, there's just a banked corner. So I feel nice and safe stopping. It's kind of hard to get going from a stop when you're uphill, but I know going into this, I gotta be in the easiest gear. So now we come up to the next one. Okay, we got another kind of tight corner coming up. I'm getting into the easiest gear right now. Trying to take as wide of an angle as I can. But you see, I'm still not going to be able to make that corner, so I'm stopped here. I'm turning my wheels to back up. And then this is the hard part. Because behind me, there is just side exposure. I have to really trust that my bike is going to go. I got the brakes held, but I got to really trust that I can get started from here. I'm not going to spin out and not start rolling backwards once I let off the brake. So get in a good crank position, let off the brake, and I spun a little bit, but I kept traction enough. And yeah, those are the two only spots on this trail. I wouldn't say they're even high priority because I can do them independently. You just have to have a bit of skill to do them. So, I mean, if they kept it that way, I'd be totally fine. I'm sure they have more important things to be doing on these trails and the whole system. But for building future trails, this is a bit of a hard climb too. From, you know, maybe just having that extra bit of width so I can keep my flow going up, and I'm sure nobody else would mind because it's not like it's supposed to be technical climbing as far as like turning radius. So yeah. And again, this is just an uphill only trail. Oh, and this part is sandy. I'm a little worried. I did slip a little bit. You can see my back wheel spun maybe 2 or 3 times. As that gets ridden more, I might get to the point where I don't have traction. That gets pretty scary because then you're stuck rolling backwards. Or stuck and can't just get off your bike. Alrighty, well I made it to the top of the old ski hill, the new mountain bike hill. And it was like 1.5 kilometers and 260 feet of elevation. It's hard to see from here how high we are, but yeah, I'm gonna probably go pretty slow on this because I'm alone. There are people out biking, but not with me right now. And because I'm gonna try my follow drone. I've never used it down a trail where I'm kind of going fast. I wanna make sure it doesn't lose me, I guess. So yeah, let's give it a go. But yeah, this trail has a lot of jumps on it, and I kind of have to take air on them. I don't like taking air, you know, really on my own or in general. But if I don't take air on these, the bottom part of my bike will scrape, and that erodes the trail away, so I don't want to be doing that. So yeah, I'm gonna have to take enough speed that I don't scrape my bottom on the lips.
Close. Cycling mode.
All right, wish me luck.
If you're gonna live, live out loud. If you're gonna live, live out loud. Make you wanna turn around, shout it out. That's what it's all about, 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 free spirit, soul shine. Dig deep and try, now you go mine. I've never seen such a beautiful sight. You're a star and you're burning bright. If you're gonna live, live out loud. If you're gonna live, live out loud. Make you wanna turn around, shout it out. That's what it's all about, all about. Live out loud, live out loud, live out loud, live
So today was an awesome day. Those trails are so fun. And after I did my own laps, there was a big ceremony with politicians and everybody, and I was really surprised because they asked me to lead the group down. So we had a group ride come down the trail, and then I actually rode through the ribbon to officially mark the opening of the trails. And yeah, it was pretty exciting day, but I'm just gonna love having these new trails, be able to hopefully bring other riders on adaptive bikes out here and help them progress their skills. I even ended up talking to the media and on the news and everything, so yeah, didn't expect any of that to happen today. Today's not that hot, but I am already warm, so I think my plan for the next few days is just to stick around here, ride some laps early in the morning, and then just come back to the van and have the air conditioning going. And then if my batteries start getting too low from the air conditioning running, then I'll go to a paid campsite where I can plug in and just run the air conditioning and not even have to think about power. So that's where I'm at for the next few days. I know I haven't been posting a lot here on YouTube this summer. I'm just getting burnt out with screen time. I'm doing some other videoing and stuff like that, other projects. So yeah, I don't have a lot of time to get to my own personal YouTube channel, but I will try to do better. But anyways, thanks for coming along, trip down memory lane, being at this place that holds so many memories for me as a kid. And yeah, thanks for keeping it wheel, everyone. See you in the next video.